What is happening, everybody? Willie here, and welcome to a new episode of Gotta Get Away. Now, hence to the name, Gotta Get Away. Well, you gotta be able to get away. That's the whole problem. And today we wanted to do a review, but in order to do this review and do it correctly, you gotta be able to get away. At least for part of it. Unfortunately, what I'm getting at right now is we can't really get away. And the reason for that is a lot of the East Coast right now is under an air clarity warning. Now, some of you may have been watching the news and maybe watching the Weather Channel or whatever and are familiar with right now that there's parts of Canada that are on fire. Well, it's pretty good sized fires because that smoke is coming right down the East Coast and we pretty much are inhaling it. That's all I can tell you. I know because my throat is sore from being out in it yesterday at work. So all I can tell you is we can do part of this video today, and you're probably not going to make a difference because you're going to see this first half and just think that the second half was done the same day I did the first half, unless the fact that I am sitting here telling you that I didn't, which I am. That's right, Royal Enfield. This is my Father's Day present. I'm going to show you what it is. I'm going to take this knife out of my pocket, flip it open here, and we're going to cut into this box here real quick. Happy Father's Day to me. Happy Father's Day to me. Happy Father's Day to me. 'Cause I am a father. There we go. What you are looking at is a Royal Enfield Himalayan touring model seat. That's right, the touring model. Now you might think to yourself, Willie, what do you need a touring model seat for? Well, I'll tell you. Just a few rides that I have taken on my Royal Enfield Himalayan with the seat that came on it, well, it was a bit rough on the tushy. And I don't think it's because it's a bad seat. I've talked to many people who go, hey, this is a very comfortable seat. I don't have a problem with it. And I've talked to people that went, man, this is painful. I can't stand it. And here's the basis of it all. Here's the two things that bothered me about the seat. First off, when you're sitting on it, the bars that are on either side of the frame that the seat sits on top of, you eventually wear down the seat from sitting on it any long period of time to where the bars are actually out further than the seat. So your legs inside of your thighs basically are sitting on those bars. Kind of uncomfortable. The bars don't move. Just saying, they do not. The other thing that kind of worries me about this seat and the one that's on the bike, the material that they use is not a slick vinyl where you slide. It actually grips. So it grips. I'm trying to figure a very discreet way to say this. It does grip your pants and you don't move, really. Well, your pants don't move anyway. That's as far as I'm going to go with that. So this one, unfortunately, it's made out of the same stuff, but I'm hoping that it's more comfortable and doesn't bounce you around as much. And I just hope it's more comfortable. That's all I'm saying. Now, the thing about this one is it is made out of a different material inside, from what I understand. There's some form of computer cut sort of thing going on here that's different, and it does feel a little firmer than the other seat, the standard seat does. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this guy outside, put it on the old Royal Enfield, and see what we see, feel what we feel kind of thing. You down with that? I am. Let's get out there in the garage. So here we are out in the old garage. We're kind of testing the original standard seat, kind of just seeing how things are. But what we're going to do is get that old camera over here closer, take it off, which is not hard to do. It's very simple to change seats on the Royal Enfield, on the Himalayan specifically. And let's put the new one on and just see if we can tell. Because I definitely can tell that I sink down into this one, the standard seat. So let's get this one off of here and get them switched over. Now the first thing I got to do in order to do so is I have to take the bag off, because I actually have to lift the back seat off the passenger seat, and so the bag is kind of latched down here to the frame of the bike. So we have to take those off first, flip the bag backwards, and then we will be able to go ahead and put the other seat on. There we go. And that is how easy the factory seat comes off. All you got to do is put the key in, passenger seat comes off, main seat comes off. Nothing much to it. Now, on your right is the new seat. On your left is going to be the factory. I can see visually a little more padding and not as sharp an edge on the right hand side. This edge is a little sharper on the standard seat, a little more rounded on the new one, and there's no emblem, there's no printed medallion, I guess you'd say, on the standard seat, where on the new one, the touring seat, it is in there. Stamped Royal Enfield. So, let's put this in. Get that lined up. Get the passenger seat put back on. Locked into place. Get the cardboard dust off of it. And that is really all it is. Always take that key out so you don't break it off in the lock. Now, let's hop back up here. Okay. Other than it whistling when I sit on it, I can definitely tell it's a stiffer seat. It is a thicker padding, possibly, something along that lines. So really, the only thing next is to get on the road. It really doesn't sound like that. It sounds more like... But you can change that if you change the exhaust. You can take away that sound. Just saying, it could happen. Mainly because the standard muffler, the stock muffler that comes on it, weighs about 6,000 pounds. So anyway, the next thing is to actually get out and use it. And as soon, and I mean as soon, as the air quality gets to where you can breathe out there without really needing an oxygen tank, we're going to get out there and do that. I have every intention, and have for quite some time, of going some distance with this thing. It has had its 300-mile checkup. We're right at 307 miles or something like that. And I changed the oil and everything in it myself, but I took it to my Royal Enfield dealership and had them adjust the valves. To me, it's worth it for somebody that does that for a living to do it, more so than me do it. If I have to do it out on the road somewhere, if the mileage comes up and it has to be done and I have to do it, that's fine. So anyway, the next step is going for a ride. Well, we are in Old Town Smithfield. This is the kind of stuff you find in Old Town Smithfield. I should have came here on the way home, not the way out. We're going to try to get back home before this gets hot. We've done run about 35 miles, I guess. Seat's great. I can tell that it's a denser foam, which is why it's not letting me sink down to the frame. So I think this is going to be pretty good. It's going to be a good seat. I'm going to need that denser foam after I eat the rest of this. Let's try to get back to the house. Holy mother. What a piece of pie that was.